Hey guys, kinggath here with some mod news. So if you haven't watched it already, check out the trailer we dropped earlier today because I am about to spoil a lot of the stuff that's in that trailer. Alright, you're back, so you know about Conqueror, the next expansion for Sim Settlements. We are very excited to share this with you, but I think some of you are unexcited. Some of you watched that trailer, you got nervous, you thought, I don't own Nuka World, or I hate the Raiders and don't want to play the bad guy. Don't worry, we got you covered on all fronts. First up, the only thing in the next expansion that requires Nuka World is that Nuka Red Rocket City plan. Everything else in that expansion is completely DLC free. Next up, for those of you who hate the Raiders, so you don't want to play the bad guy, don't worry, you don't have to. We focused a lot of our content on the Raiders, but you don't actually miss out on everything. There's a lot of stuff in there, like some of the building plan skins that aren't Raider themed, and all of the core features, the code that runs it, is going to be in the 4.x patch of Sim Settlements, which means add-on pack authors can do whatever they like with it. In fact, we've already given access to an alpha build to some of the add-on pack authors so they could start developing content in advance, and I will not be shocked to see some non-Raider themed stuff coming out right around the same time as Conqueror from some of those add-on pack authors. Now, if you're an add-on pack author and this is the first you're hearing of that alpha build, definitely get in touch with me if you'd like to start working on content in advance, and I would be happy to share a build with you. All right, so now let's talk about the launch of Conqueror. So normally I would do a last of the 3.x patch a few weeks before the release just to make sure that you guys have access to a stable build of the code. But in this case, other than the hotfix that I just posted for Sim Settlements, we're calling the 3.x branch fairly stable. There are no major issues that are left untouched. We've had about a year of patches and we feel like this code base is in a good spot, and I don't want to risk introducing further bugs. So while there may be some minor issues that haven't been touched yet, for the most part, the code itself is in a good spot, and so we're going to call 3.x done right now, and the next big update for Sim Settlements will be the 4.0 patch, which will come out the same day as Conqueror. Now, let's talk patches in general. So I will not be releasing any patches for any mods other than maybe the city plan contest mod pack if we happen to have, if we get those entries judged and everything really quickly next month before Conqueror actually comes out, then we'll get that updated. But otherwise, expect no mod updates from me between now and Conqueror. And the reason for that is because I want to focus on making sure this launch experience is very smooth. We've all had way too many bugs in our video game releases this year. We don't need them in our mods too. And so I'm going to try and do my best to get you guys a relatively bug-free experience, though I'm not an idiot. I will never claim to make bug-free software. It's just the nature of the beast, especially in a modding environment where there's so many different variables. But on that topic, for those of you on Xbox who are very worried about the 4.0 launch, I know some of you struggled with the 3.0 launch, I'm going to do the same thing I did during the Rise of the Commonwealth launch, which is post the last stable version of the Sim Settlements code as a separate mod. So if you've ever searched on Bethesda.net, you'll see that the 2.1.8 build of Sim Settlements is still there for players who had trouble with Rise of the Commonwealth, and I'll do the same thing for this. So players who are worried about the 4.0 release of Conqueror and Sim Settlements, you guys will be able to go to this other mod, which will just be the last version of Sim Settlements, and it will transfer over completely seamlessly. So you'll be able to uninstall your current Sim Settlements, download that new version that's just the 3.x patch, and it will work without screwing up your save file. So that will be available. That will come out the same day as Conqueror. All right, and now let's talk about the last and fun thing for those of you guys who are excited to get involved with some Raider stuff in advance. We're going to embrace the chaos for the January City Plan contest. So there's a couple of things going on with that chaos. One is that Conqueror is going to launch right in the middle of it. So yes, you will be able to use the new Conqueror content in your design. So if you want to use the new building plans that come in it or the new skins, you'll be able to use that stuff in your designs. But let's talk about the theme, because I know some of you guys hate the Raiders and you're not going to want to participate because of that. Well, that's why this month's theme is Minutemen versus the Raiders. So if you don't like the Raiders, you can choose the Minutemen. So you're going to choose your favorite of those factions and you're going to build an outpost for them in your favorite Red Rocket. So your choices of settlements this month are the Nuka World Red Rocket and the Commonwealth Red Rocket. So you guys know we have a Red Rocket design already coming, so if maybe you don't want to compete with that and you'd want more people to see your Red Rocket build, you can go build back in the Commonwealth, or you could build a Minutemen themed or Nuka World settlement as if the Minutemen came in and took over, so things like that. So you've got lots of options. You're going to build an outpost and you're going to choose between a faction in one of these red rockets. And so your faction choices, again, Minutemen or any of the Raider gangs or just generic Raider. And you are allowed to use the Nuka World content, so the Nuka World buildable stuff, if you build in the Nuka World Red Rocket, because any player who has access to this settlement will also have access to that content. Now, if you decide to build back in the Commonwealth, you are limited to the Project Blueprint mods and the vanilla stuff, but don't worry, we have lots of Raidery things. We've got spikes, we've got dead bodies, we've got all sorts of stuff like that to help you guys make a cool looking Raider settlement back in the Commonwealth if that's what you want to do. Obviously with the Minutemen, you've got access to a whole giant build kit because most of the default vanilla stuff is kind of themed after the Minutemen. All right, guys, I'm excited to see what you do with this new theme in the City Plan contest. I am very excited to get Conqueror out to you. And with all that said, take care and enjoy the mods.